welcome to the Full Court Press. I am your host, Drew Duncan. Do not forget that Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Additionally, you can find me on YouTube. Simply look for Drew Duncan. And of course, you can find the Full Court Press subsidiaries, football, basketball, and MMA on Facebook and Instagram as well. I want to preface this by saying the thing I don't like about sports is how petty sports and athletes can be, period. And it becomes a point where sometimes I feel like we're not even watching our athletes and what their day-to-day lives are on social media. I feel more like we're watching TMZ, Days of Our Lives, soap operas. It gets to a point where it's not even entertaining anymore, right? Like, for instance, you take this whole McGregor-Khabib situation. I'm not going to get into it. This is not a political program. Some of the stuff that's been said, wrong on all sides. I will tell you that. Widely inappropriate on all sides. And so if you want to take time to go and find out what's happening, feel free to do so. You can always come back to the video and watch the rest. No big deal to me. But I'm just saying, I'm not a political guy. I don't do political stuff. And it's gotten out of control. I'll tell you that much. And one of the things that bothered me, though, about McGregor is his whole announcing a retirement again. And then it looked like he was going to come back and do boxing. And then now he issues his apology, and it's, I'll see you in the octagon. And it's just like, it's been 10 days, dude, since you said you were going to retire. 10 days. I mean, make up your mind, bro. That's why you don't do things that are emotionally charged. We don't know why McGregor chose to announce his retirement. We literally have no clue. There's speculation. There's what McGregor says that has nothing to do with these allegations around him. Whatever the case is, I remember John Elway when he retired, right? He said that he wanted to make sure that he was done for good because he always thought it was tacky when guys would retire and then come back. Perfect example, Brett Favre. Perfect example, Jason Witten. Potential example, Rob Gronkowski. Potential. So it's one of those things, right? I mean, Randall Cunningham would basically be another, and I understand that every situation is different, but it's been 10 days, 10 literal days since you announced a retirement. And already, see you in the octagon already? Look, regardless of whatever happens with McGregor and all the stuff he's got going on outside of the octagon, we know that it's going to be at least at the bare minimum 6 months until he can even fight. With Khabib, we know it's going to be at the bare minimum at least 9 months until he can fight, period. So that's just not something that's going to be in the cards for a while. And trying to act like you're already promoting something, like just stop, man. Really, just stop. Seriously. Then, of course, you look at some other stuff that's been going on around sports in general, right? You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and the whole thing with Ben Roethlisberger and rumors going around that allegedly he botched a handoff on purpose because Roethlisberger wanted to kneel it, Tomlin wanted to run it, and so we fumbled the football on purpose. You have Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell saying that, some guys like him, some guys don't. Then you had James Harrison come on and say that his experiences with Roethlisberger were positive and he can't speak for everybody else, but everybody's trying to speak for everybody else. And then, of course, you had this whole kind of sideshow with Antonio Brown in and of itself, just kind of people viewing him as getting a little weird and going a little crazy on social media. Some of it I liked, some of it I didn't. I just, again, Days of Our Lives, and you start looking at this most recent thing, right, with Aaron Rodgers and Coach McCarthy, where allegedly if you were not on the side of Aaron Rodgers as a wide receiver, then Aaron Rodgers wouldn't pay you any attention, and he favored receivers who supposedly took his side and what they wanted to do game plan-wise and all this. And McCarthy would allegedly skip meetings to go get massages or whatever the hell he was doing. I'm just like, really? You know, and then we've had this whole thing with LeBron James and the Lakers and Cavaliers, and he wants to be a Cavalier. He doesn't want to be a Cavalier. He wants to be a Laker. He knew what he was getting himself into with this group of guys who apparently just aren't up to snuff for LeBron James to win a title with. And, you know, it gets to a point where it gets so petty. And the egos, man, a lot of it is ego. Not all, a lot of it is ego, man. And I think that we're all aware of that. And we're all aware that when you're an athlete, you're going to have an ego, right? You're not a quarterback in the NFL because you're soft. You can't be. It's all there is to it. You look at Eli Manning, a lot of people make fun of the faces that he makes, but how many games in a row did he play? The record ceased to exist because he got benched, not because he got hurt. He's tough. Because you get hit in this league as a quarterback. That's all there is to it. He's tough. You don't go to 9 straight NBA finals because you're not a superb athlete the way LeBron did. You don't have the killer instinct the way that Aaron Rodgers does when you're overall soft. But some of this other petty letting egos get in the way. And the thing is a lot of it is rumor and hearsay. And it gets to a point where it's like I get tired of seeing it on my news feed. I mean, I don't know about you guys. You know, this is something I normally don't do. I normally don't go on rants like this. But it gets to a point where I think we all kind of really want it to stop a little bit. I mean, how many people are legitimately entertained by all this stuff? You know, some of it is pretty good, but some of it is just like gossip, man. And I don't know. I've never really been a gossip guy. It's not really what I do. I try to deal in the facts as much as possible. And I just feel like all this stuff maybe it's because it's the off season. You know, I mean, really, when it boils down to it, what do you got? You got MMA, which is year round, obviously. You've got basketball going on right now. We're getting ready for the NFL draft. So maybe it's just we've all got a little too much time on our hands right now because we're not actually watching football because, you know, you've had the whole thing with the AAF going on. And, you know, then again, how many people have actually sat down and watched the game every single week? So I don't know. It's just stop being petty. Don't let your ego get in the way all the time. I guess that's my 2 cents. I'm tired of watching, you know, Days of Our Lives with our athletes. So, guys, I am Drew Duncan, host of the Full Court Press. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. YouTube is simply Drew Duncan. Of course, you can find our subsidiaries of the Full Court Press, football, basketball, and MMA on Facebook and Instagram as well. And when you share our posts, don't forget to use the hashtag Don't You Dare Touch That Dial. And as always, don't you dare touch that dial.